Yo, what's up? I'm the Chess Guy and welcome to the video. Today we have a viewer game. His rating is about 1400 and during the game I will explain the reasoning behind certain moves and why I think some of his moves might have been bad. I'll also explain what my plans and ideas are, but please remember that at some point he pushes his pawn to h5 and I respond with g5. So it's very important that you try to keep the position under control on the side that you're weak at, and then I try to open the center because his king is going to be stuck there. And when he's finally able to castle queenside, it's actually too late, and not soon after he will blunder a mate. Yeah, hope you enjoy, I hope you learned something, and if you ever want to play a game against me, please follow me on Twitch, and see you on Fridays, because that's when I do all my viewer games. Enjoy! Good luck, Nielsen. The Scandinavian, I see. Okay. So I guess the thing we're going to do is just develop our pieces normally and go from there. And we already know that white or black will go queenside castle. Usually white does the same. And then there's some pressure that is exerted onto this pawn. Let's play h3. Because if he takes, queen takes, and then would take here, there would be queen b7. Let's go here. Put our bishop here. There's sometimes these ideas, but not so sure. It would have been a check. So he's gonna pressure on this pawn, but he is neglecting the king for now. We might just go short castle and sacrifice some stuff, get a cool game. Or if we'd want to defend, we play rook c1. Because of course knight c2 is a threat with the bishop and knight looking at this pawn. I think rook c1 is okay. It could be dangerous because I've moved my kingside pawns up the board and I can't castle queenside anymore. But with the lead in development and the extra space, I think it is also black's king that could become endangered. We'll have to see how this goes. e6, a good move, keeping things flexible. When do you decide to kick the bishop on g4 versus leaving the pin? Yeah, that's a good question. If you're comfortably able to play bishop e2, like h3 is very often fine, and g4 is risky because you're weakening your king. It determines a little bit on your style, whether you want to be solid and play sort of like a quieter approach to the game. G4 is usually a bit dangerous because it's double-edged. But if you want to grab the initiative and play for some concrete chess, then you can go g4, but you do realize that your king gets weak, potentially gets weak. Not necessarily. But Nielsen wants to take advantage by that, but we're not going to open the king side with his for him for free, so we push the pawn. And it's not that easy for my opponent to get the attack going, because I'm fully developed, all my pieces are done. I have a pawn in the center, my rook is already somewhat well placed. And still a question as to where the black king is going to go. He goes there. I mean, I have c4. They will take, pawn takes. And then there's maybe queen g3. To avoid that, I can defend the bishop. I can also go knight e5 here, cut the queen off. I could maybe even allow queen g3. Because let's say c4 takes, I don't know, queen g3 doesn't even threaten anything. I'll check c6 and then d5. Maybe that is good. I'm not convinced though. What we can do instead, maybe it's this. Queen b5, queen b7 is something you want to look out for. And if you take, I can take back with the queen. And then we're still going to play c4, d5. Now the bishop's attacked. Depends on how many challenges we get. So this, I don't think is a very good move, because I was already intending c4. Because I want to open up the position since your king is in the center. Oh, it's 3+2. So I got to start playing a bit faster here, because we only have 2 seconds. So c4, and we can go d5. The pawn is pinned. Black is getting pushed backwards. Goes there. We can go b3. Let's play rook e1. Likely he's going to castle queenside now. Then our efforts are going to give us an extra pawn here as well. Okay, so we'll take this one. I could have probably done that instead of taking the pawn, but I don't have enough time anymore to find the best move. Okay, but now we don't even need to do that. Let's just take here. Now the only concern is to not flag. There's a mate in 1. Which needs to be addressed. Unfortunately, my opponent doesn't. And now it's mate. I think this showcased that if you end up going for something with like what I did here with h3, g4, you got to be aware that you need to play for the initiative. Because if you don't, you're weakening your king. But then I think he moved his knight again for somewhat of a simple attack. I improved my rook and defended against his threat. I castled. And then h5 is a good move. You do not want to take this, guys, because you're just going to open up your king. And there's no reason to do that. With g5, I create a threat and I keep things closed on the side of the board where I want to keep things closed. And then later, I open the position forced here in the center where I want to open the position. And then, yeah, here I kind of choked a little bit with 3 seconds on the clock. There must be a good move here. Maybe c5 and then the queen takes. Some discovery with the knight would work. But on the other hand, rook e1 is also very strong because he couldn't actually castle since there would be queen to a7, which I only realized after taking this pawn.